Welcome back. If it is joining us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television. A reminder of our top stories. Nigeria's main opposition party, the PDP, signs new agreement with breakaway faction of the ruling All Progressives Congress and more than 30 other political parties ahead of the 2019 general elections. Thugs disrupt INEC's meeting with critical stakeholders and political parties in Ekiti State ahead of Saturday's governorship election. Nigerian Army hands over 183 repentant Boko Haram miners to the United Nations Humanitarian Agency for rehabilitation. 4 more boys trapped in a flooded cave in Thailand have been rescued in a second round of operations to get them out. ChannelsTV.com has more information for you, and on youtube.com/channelsweb you can watch our videos. You can also watch us on your mobile device via your browser or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows devices from their respective stores. Besides giving you access to news updates on the go, the Channels TV and Channels 24 app have an eyewitness feature that you can use to share pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu and follow the instructions. Here are some of the stories that you sent in to the Eyewitness portal. We begin with this one from Calabar, the Cross River State capital. We see children whom our Eyewitness reporter says built a swamp buggy using locally sourced materials. According to her, the children built other things like drones, popcorn machines, water dispenser and air conditioner. Our next story is from a Ladipo bus stop along Agege Motor Road in Lagos State, where we have these pictures of houses which, according to our witness reporter, were partially demolished to make room for the expansion of the road. But he laments that the work stopped shortly after it started, putting residents' lives in danger. Their fences and gates have been removed. He also laments the poor state of the road, drainage and entire outlook of the area. He's calling now on the Lagos State government to do all it can and all that's needed for the contractors to go back to site to reduce the trouble they've had to contend with. Our final image is from Unity Estate in Lambe area of Ogun State. We see this transformer and feeder, which were bought by communal contribution since 2015, but yet to be powered on. Our witness report alleges that all their efforts to get to the Ikeja Electric to energize it is yet to yield any fruit, and after 3 years is calling on the management of the electricity company to do something fast about their plight. Thank you for sending in those pictures and images, so keep sending them to about locations that you're at, and your contacts so that those stories can be followed up. We continue with politics now. The major election stakeholders meeting ahead of the July 14th governorship election in Ekiti State ended abruptly today without a resolution. The meeting ended in a deadlock following unruly behavior by some party supporters. That did not stop the Independent National Electoral Commission and the police from giving assurance that Saturday's governorship election will be a reflection of the will of voters.
A packed capacity hall, and for good reason. Everyone here has come to participate in this stakeholders meeting holding in Ekiti State. Political opponents, traditional rulers, diplomats, and supporters of the contending parties. Before them to explain how their agencies will ensure a smooth governorship election on Saturday are the head of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and the Inspector General of Police.
Provision of armed policemen to accompany INEC officials conveying both sensitive and non-sensitive electoral materials to their various destinations. B. Provision of armed police officers to accompany INEC officials conveying the electoral materials to wards and polling units on the day of the election.
The Commission shall not take any action to the advantage or disadvantage of any candidate or political party. No election material has been tampered with, and no election material will be tampered with.
It's time for the interactive session, and as this speaker harps on the need for adequate security, there is an interruption from an edgy crowd, which leads to a shouting match. The representatives of the parties are not perturbed by this. All they want is for the promise of the major umpires to be fulfilled.
The people are just expressing their mind, and you can see the massive support here. So it's just the normal thing. We are going to hold them by their words. They have promised that they are going to be free, fair, and credible and transparent election, and that is exactly what we expect from them, from the IGP and also from the chairman of INEC.
What we had towards the end was a sort of expression of people's will against a kind of a partisan body. People are supposed to be father for all and going into partisan politics.
The countdown is on, and the hope is that once it's concluded, the verdict will be acceptable to all.
Away from politics, the Nigerian Army has handed over 183 repentant Boko Haram members to the United Nations Humanitarian Office and Borno State government for rehabilitation. According to the Army, the children who have been linked with the armed group are all minors, with their age ranging from 7 to 18 years. The theatre commander of Operation Lafia Dule, Major General Rogers Nicholas, said some of the children are fighters, while others worked as informants for the terrorists. They've been in administrative custody and will receive medical attention and psychosocial support before the process of reuniting them with their families and reintegrating them into society. The UN Resident Humanitarian Coordinator, represented by Ibrahim Sisse, received the children on behalf of the UN, while the Borno State Commissioner for Women Affairs represented the state government. It appears the Labour Union has a bone to pick with one of the leading telecom service providers in the country over matters of workers' welfare. Members of the Nigeria Labour Congress today picketed the business offices of MTN in several states, including Lagos, Kwara, Kano and Akwa Ibom. The union is accusing the company of alleged refusal to allow unionism, paying below the national minimum wage and constant sacking of workers without benefits. But MTN is placing a ban on union activities, while also stating its readiness to meet with the leadership of the union in charting a way forward. Our correspondent, Olu Phillips, reports.
It's not a usual occurrence to arrive your business place on the first work day of the week and be barred from entry. As early as 6 a.m. all across where their offices are located in the country, members of the Nigeria Labour Congress picketed premises of the yellow telecoms company MTN. Workers were barred from entering their offices, just as union is accusing the company of refusing to allow unionism, paying below minimum wage, and the arbitral sacking of workers without benefit.
What MTN is doing, they cannot do in South Africa. They are unionized in South Africa. They allow their workers to be unionized, and they pay them decent salary, decent wages, minimum wage. They allow for maternity right for the women work with them. They don't criminalize pregnancy because the future workers have to be produced by women. Now, presently, MTN is violating basic workers' rights. Workers work for more than 8 hours. They are not paid overtime. That is illegal. It's criminal.
It happened in Kwara as it did in Bauchi, Port Harcourt, Cross River, and other parts of the country. The Lagos office of the company also received these August visitors grinding work to a halt. The spokesperson of the company had this to say about their position.
We have reported what has happened to the EVC of the NCC and to the NCC generally. We are going to formalize that report with a letter detailing what has happened. Certain critical infrastructure were directly threatened. Certain office premises were gates and all that were broken down. What we expect is that Labour should be able to sit down with us at MTN and we can have a conversation. Like I said, nothing against unionization. Only thing we will not do is to force it.
There is victory for all.
NLC has vowed to continue their action for a few more days, with consequences that may be dire or minimal, depending on the outcome of negotiations and how soon. Olu Phillips, Channels Television News.
Let's head on now to Abuja, where Linda Akigwe is standing by with more on the news at 10. Hi, Linda.
Hello, Amarachi, and welcome to Abuja. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onoge, has described the delay in the justice delivery system in Nigeria. The CJN, who raised his concern at a training for newly appointed justices, described the situation as unacceptable and emphasized the need for a thorough and comprehensive reform of the justice sector to ensure access to justice within a reasonable time. Justice Onoge also warned judges to desist from corruption and any act capable of bringing Nigerian judiciary to disrepute. Lending a voice, the administrator of the National Judicial Institute also warned and charged the judiciary to live up to its responsibility to the rule of law and country.
You all will agree with me that a corrupt judge is not only a disgrace to the bench and the noble profession, but also a disaster to the cause of justice and the nation. It behoves on me to emphasize here that corruption is not limited to bribe-taking, but includes the giving of judgments or orders based on any consideration other than legal merit. It is gratifying to note, however, that the National Judicial Council is already tackling this cankerworm headlong. We will continually ensure through vigorous screening and painstaking appointment procedures that the best materials in terms of learning and character get appointed to the bench.
The case of hundreds of bank workers affected by the recapitalization exercise of 2006 failed to go on at the National Industrial Court sitting in Lagos today. No reason was given for the failure of the court to sit. Parties, however, agreed to come back before the court next week, Wednesday, the 18th of July. Some of the ex-bank workers who showed up in court today expressed optimism that they will get justice in court despite the length of time it has taken to get paid the terminal benefits they believe they are entitled to. At the last sitting of the court on May 30th, the ex-bankers withdrew the old suits which they filed as a union and decided to file a fresh suit for their benefits as individual claimants. The trial judge, Justice Mustafa Tijani, had adjourned till today for a report of service following the absence of the defendants in court. The defendants, the fresh suit, are the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, and the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC. The chairman of the ex-bank workers, Magnus Maduka, says over 900 of them, and still counting, are back in court seeking justice. And when the news at 10 returns, Nigeria's aviation industry records another feat as Air Peace operates its first all-female flights from Lagos to Abuja and Owerri in Imo State. Please join us again.